The only thing Aman Sinha of the BJP, please hear me. The only thing Aman Sinha, Sanjay Jha, welcome. Bijon Mishra, welcome. R. Vaidyanathan, welcome. Atul Kumar Anjan, welcome. The only thing Aman Sinha worse than being ridiculed by everyone for not revealing the names is to be in a pathetic situation where after not revealing the names, you are forced to reveal the names. The only thing worse than not revealing the names, Aman Sinha, is being forced to reveal the names. Why did you do this on yourself? आपने अपने साथ ऐसा क्यों किया?
Arnab, you have raised several pertinent questions, and I hope you will give me at least 3 minutes of
Yeah, but it is an open debate. I can't decide whether you get 3 minutes or 2 minutes or 1 minute. Anytime anyone wants to come into and interrupt you, I'll have to let them if they are making a pertinent point. So, please carry on. The debate is on. It's an open debate.
Allow me to start, Arnab.
Yeah, please start.
Arnab, first of all, let me categorically say that the government has revealed all the names. Not tomorrow.
No.
In fact, on 27th of June, we have revealed all the names to the SIT.
Why not to the Supreme Court?
Yeah.
No, why
Today,
not to the Supreme Court?
when the proceedings were going on in Supreme Court, I was there.
No, you have not revealed it to the Supreme Court.
Today, when the proceedings were going on before the Supreme Court, I was there.
No, you've not revealed it to the Supreme Court.
No, at no point in time
did
government object. No, please, allow me to complete. No. At no point in time did Attorney General or government object to names being revealed to the court. And in fact, it was offered by him that there is no difficulty. I will
did you
submit
or
the
did
names
you
as
not?
soon as
No,
tomorrow. There is no difficulty at all.
No.
We are ready with it.
Did you or did you not?
We are ready with it.
No, ready
so
with it means
that
what?
is,
No, 1 minute.
I do not know why a controversy is sought to be made out of this.
I request you, sir. I request you, sir,
categorically, I can say that
not to make
all the names
allegations
have been
against the Supreme
revealed
Court.
to SIT 6 months back.
You are making allegations against the Supreme Court on national television.
To the SIT, which has been... No, Arnab, I know what I'm saying. I absolutely know what I'm saying, and I was there in Supreme Court. Please do not put, my words into your mouth or your words into my mouth.
No, 1 second. Atul Kumar Anjan is rebutting you. Debate is open now. Atul Kumar Anjan, yes, please. Atul Kumar Anjan. Atul Kumar Anjan is the first.
And today also, the government of India never objected. In fact, the government has offered to release all these names, and that has been recorded in the other.
One at a time, Atul Kumar Anjan.
He has given the list to the court. Why he is trying to twist? The question is this: why government failed
No,
to
absolutely
inform
not.
the court
Today,
the
for the
list.
first time, court asked for it and we have given it.
Why they were trying to avoid giving the names, and now the people's voice has been reflected in the judgment of the
Nobody
Supreme
was trying to
Court
avoid giving the names. We have already given the names 6 months back. Where is the question of avoiding?
It is a structure against Narendra Modi. It is a structure against the whole NDA government and BJP government. Actually, by this order, Narendra Modi's face is tarnished because he was trying to shield the names of the culprits.
That is totally a wrong and a misleading charge. As my friends have been, habitually misleading people, again they are trying to do so. We have revealed all the names 6 months back, and tomorrow we are going to reveal it to the court in a sealed cover. What is the difficulty?
You have misled the Supreme Court.
What is the charge that you are making? What is the point that you are making? We have already revealed it to the SIT, which has been working under supervision of the Supreme Court.
No, 1 second. Aman Sinha, 1 second. Congress wants to come in. Congress wants to come in before that. No, 1 minute.
Serious stricture against the government.
No, you see.
Well, Arnab,
sir, please. Sir, please.
Congress showed monumental laxity.
Sir, please.
They never even touched
forget
this
what the
issue.
Congress said.
Arnab, let me make one germane point here. Arnab, let me tell you. The Supreme Court today has wrapped this government on the knuckles based on the affidavit this government has submitted. Arnab, if you have read the affidavit, I'm sure you have.
Absolutely not.
This government,
the government, in fact, today has consented to giving this list.
If you read the affidavit, they are telling the Supreme Court, we are worried about right to privacy. They're saying we are going to
I
sign
have
a
the
bilateral
affidavit,
agreement
Mr.
with the
Sanjay
US
Jha.
government.
I don't come
Therefore,
without
we
reading
have to
like
now
you.
worry about confidentiality. So therefore, I think the intention of this government, if the Supreme Court had not ordered for the revelation of the names, I can guarantee you on your channel, this government would not have released the names for the next 100 years. It had no intention. Therefore, they were planning to release names for political purposes, malign a few
Names already stand
individuals,
revealed.
create
I
a
don't know
certain
what you are
aura
saying.
A point of fact is being made.
It is working under
A
supervision
point of
the Supreme
fact
Court.
is being made.
What is the
Gentlemen,
point
a
that you
minute,
are
please.
making?
No, 1 second.
Why are you trying to mislead the nation?
No, who's misleading
After
who?
sitting silent for all these years.
Who's misleading who?
and
1
holding
minute.
tons of black money.
Aman,
Now you are going on
distorting
preaching.
reality.
You are
being
misleading the
disingenuous
country.
here.
Oh, you know what? Don't
You
throw
are
adjectives at
distorting
each other. Let me come in.
No,
You
we
are
are not.
misleading the country.
Mr. Raj
The name
Jethmalani has
stands
told
revealed
you.
6
Mr.
months
Raj
back.
Jethmalani in
6
an
months
open
back
letter
they have
has
been
said that
revealed.
your government and
So
your
what?
finance minister is misleading
So
the
what
Supreme
Mr.
Court.
Ram Jethmalani has told. So what?
What do you mean
What
by
is the
so
point
what?
that you are
Really?
making?
So you
Government
believe
has
that on
already
black
revealed
money
his
you
name 6
stand
months back.
absolutely white, are you? Listen,
No, what-
listen,
No,
Aman,
what does
show
my
some
friend mean? I
humility and grace.
cannot understand.
Show some humility
If
and
Ram
grace.
Jethmalani says
Are
something,
you
then it is
are
not
you
going to
today
become
trying
divine
to
truth.
take on the Supreme
We have
Court?
already-
Are
we have
you
already
trying to
revealed these
challenge the
names.
Supreme Court order? Because your finance minister has not.
I am saying you are misleading the nation. You are misleading and misinterpreting the orders of
No,
the
we
Supreme
are
Court.
Okay,
Read your
one
affidavit.
minute. Aman
Read
Sinha,
your
Aman
affidavit.
Sinha.
Therefore, taking
Aman,
on the
Aman
Supreme
Sinha,
Court.
minute, please,
That
gentlemen.
you have been dodgy.
Please.
Your
I don't
government
need
has
to be
been
told by
dodgy.
you
Who are you
how
trying
to
to
interpret
protect
the judgments of
fundamental
Supreme Court.
Please let me come in. Let me come in. Atul Anjan, 1 minute. Mr. Aman Sinha makes a very serious allegation. Aman Sinha says, and Aman Sinha is looking at his watch, he probably wants to leave the debate quickly because he's falling short of his replies.
He will leave like the Pinky Anand last time left.
Let's see.
Arnab,
Let's see.
I'll be there as long as you want me.
That's all
but
right.
please allow me to respond to your
1
question.
minute.
I
Gentlemen,
was
1
looking at
minute.
my watch because
Just
my
a minute.
next
Aman
TV crew is
Sinha
standing, that is all.
makes an important allegation. And Aman Sinha thinks that he can get away with it. Because Aman Sinha usually gets away with these kind of arguments on other channels where they don't do their research. Aman Sinha says, have you seen the affidavit of the Supreme Court? Well, I've seen the affidavit of the Supreme Court and I can tell Aman Sinha a few things about the affidavit that he doesn't know himself. Now, Mr. Aman Sinha, in brief, the government sought...
Okay, tell me, I'm waiting.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm
Thank you,
waiting.
Sanjay Jha. I hope you can hear me now. In brief, Aman Sinha, the affidavit which you say nobody has read, including Sanjay Jha, the government sought modification of the Supreme Court 2011
I did
to
not say nobody, I
2014
said
May
Sanjay Jha.
orders. You need to listen. The government sought modification of the Supreme Court 2011 to 2014.
No, can you just repeat?
You want me to repeat it? You want me to repeat it?
Yes.
Okay, so can I
Yes,
repeat myself
they partially
once?
sought that.
Okay, I only
Partially
want...
sought that.
Okay, I only want you to ask. If I prove you wrong now, you will have to say sorry for this. The government in its affidavit sought modification...
What proved wrong? What proved wrong?
The government sought modification of the 2011 to 2014 May orders with respect to clause 26 of the double taxation avoidance agreement, wherein only those names of illicit account holders should be disclosed, which is prosecutable. Supreme Court has overruled this, saying that all or any names obtained have to be provided.
No.
1 minute,
No, absolutely not.
Supreme Court and SIT will monitor which case Supreme Court and SIT will monitor which case is prosecutable or not prosecutable. Government wanted to retain this investigation. Supreme Court has denied the modification, and it will now be overseen by the Supreme Court. And not just this, the Supreme Court said, you will give us the names and the SIT, all the names. We will not modify any earlier orders. You are providing a protective umbrella for account holders.
To that. We have already given the names to SIT.
Oh,
and
you
we
haven't
have
given it to
consented
the
give
court.
the names to the Supreme
You
Court.
didn't give it to the court. Did they give it to the court, Bejan Mishra? Did they give it to the court?
No,
And please,
Aman,
we are going to give it to the court tomorrow.
Yeah, no, Aman.
We have given a consent order.
ahead.
That is a consent order.
No, Aman.
The statement of Attorney General has been
Aman,
recorded.
Aman,
and let me point out,
Aman and Bejan
Arnab,
Mishra.
that the affidavit that you were reading, I have it with me. And that very affidavit, the order dated 4th of July 2011, categorically states
my
that
short
only
point,
after-
Aman, is please listen to me, Aman.
Only after preliminary investigations
please
are
listen.
complete,
Please
then
learn to
only
listen.
names will be made
Please
public.
learn to listen.
That is order of the Supreme Court.
Please learn to listen.
That is order of the Supreme
Please
Court.
learn to listen. please learn to
No,
listen.
please, I've been listening.
Yeah, so Aman, you listen to me
I don't
first.
know who's speaking, but I have been listening to all these charges, which have been, you know, all these sweeping
you
charges,
first listen.
which have been made on BJP.
You first listen. If you had given the names to the Honorable Supreme
know who's
Court,
speaking.
if you had given the names to the Honorable Supreme Court, which you are claiming before the viewers tonight, then why should the Honorable Supreme Court give you an order saying, I need the names? Can you answer me that? If you have given the names,
I'm sorry,
if you have
please
compiled,
do not please do not misinterpret
done
what
all the
I'm saying.
compliances which
We
were
have given
required,
the names to
then why
SIT,
did the Supreme Court
which
give this
works
order?
under
Can you answer me
complete
that?
supervision of Supreme Court.
So why did you, why if you
Today,
give,
Supreme Court wanted to have those names.
so
and
why,
we have readily said that.
so you are saying
we'll
you gave it
as soon
tonight.
as tomorrow.
You are
That
saying
is
you
what we
gave
have
it
said.
tonight. You are saying you gave it today in the court. Why are you misleading the citizens?
I'm saying we gave it
Why
to
are you
SIT.
misleading the citizens?
I am saying I gave it to SIT.
No,
we gave
so
it
you
to
should mention.
SIT,
Why didn't you
which
give
is
it to
being
the court?
constituted
Why
by
didn't you give it to
Supreme
the court? Why
Court
didn't you
and
mention?
works under complete supervision of the Supreme Court.
No. Aman, you must.
Who are you?
You
when
must-
the court told us we are giving it.
I am a citizen. That money belongs to me. It doesn't belong to your party. Please.
You are a citizen.
Yes.
The matters are being investigated.
So why didn't you give the names? Why
All
didn't you
those
give the
names which
names
are there,
today?
they are also citizens.
Why did you not give the names? Why did the Supreme Court have to
The
give this
names have
order
already
today?
been given.
Why did the
are
Supreme
you
Court
trying
have to give this
mislead?
order?
When the names have been given to the SIT, which has been constituted by the Supreme Court,
Why didn't you mention
works
to the
under
court?
supervision of the Supreme Court.
You want to tell me that
at
Supreme
the
Court
first
did
instance, when the
you
Supreme
want
Court
to
asked
tell
for
me
it,
that
we have
Supreme
given a
Court did
consent
not
order
take
and stated
cognizance
that
of what
we'll
you
give
mentioned?
these names tomorrow. What is the difficulty?
So
Today
the-
Supreme
the
Court
diffi-
asks
the
and we give a
difficulty-
consent order, it will be given
the
tomorrow.
difficulty
Don't you
is-
see clearly that there is extreme cooperation from the government?
The difficulty.
What is the controversy that
the
you're trying to make?
controversy
You're
is
trying to mislead everybody?
your intent has got exposed.
Hello?
The intent has got exposed.
Yeah, what do you
Now,
got?
there's one more
Dekho,
question. There's one more question. Aman Sinha. Yes, Anjan?
The list before Supreme Court. You were misleading the country for the last 150 days. And the Supreme Court judgment has echoed the view of the people of this country and the will of this country. And they have passed a stricture against the Narendra Modi and this government. Your government was trying to shield the black money holders, and one pretext
Right.
to another pretext with the procedural wrangles.
One second. 1 minute.
SIT.
1 minute. No, Aman Sinha, minute. I'm going to Professor Vaidyanathan. 1 minute,
Just
gentlemen.
to take Prime Minister for the sake of getting some cheap publicity. No, please.
No, there's no cheap
you
publicity
just
here.
want to drag Prime Ministers
There
from
is no
anywhere
cheap publicity.
and
The
just,
Prime-
just
the
in order
Prime-
to get some cheap publicity.
The Prime Minister-
It is totally reprehensible.
It is not cheap publicity.
This information has been shared 6 months back.
So why are you not coming out with
Oh,
it?
one minute.
The
Just a
SIT
minute.
which works
Aman
under
Sinha.
complete supervision
Aman
of the
Sinha,
Supreme
please
Court.
listen to me. Please, this is Arnab here. Can you hear me? Because I can't shout beyond a
Yes.
certain point. 1 second.
Okay.
You say that the names were submitted
No,
6
Arnab,
months
you
back.
are very good at that. Yeah.
No, thank you very much. So are you, if I may say so. Right? Though you were beaten by a man called Amerikai Narayanan a few days back on my program. 1 second, 1 minute. Aman Sinha makes up.
Was I beaten?
No, I don't
or was
know.
Did I
don't
beat
know.
him black and blue?
No, don't. You see. Atul Anjan, just a minute. Atul Anjan ji, 1 minute sun lijiye, please.
All these points which you are putting on this national television, you have put before the
He has
court,
been
Supreme
taken
Court.
out by his
and
own
this
party.
all arguments have been rejected by Supreme Court.
Okay,
today.
Atul Anjan, 2 minutes, please. Aman Sinha makes an argument. He says all the names were given 6 months back. Why is the country asking any questions? Why do 1 billion people ask questions now? I want
Where am I saying?
to ask you, Aman Sinha.
No, I'm open to all the questions.
Aman
I'm
Sinha,
responding
listen
to all
to
the
me.
questions.
Listen, I'll just prove you
Yes.
wrong. At just 2 points, I will completely demolish your argument. Just give me two minutes and 2 points. First point is, who was in power 6 months
You've
back?
been speaking all the time.
Who was in power 6 months back?
June when the names were shared, we were in power.
No. Is it true, Aman Sinha, that in April 29th this year, now you know, Mr. Sinha, you are really caught now. The UPA was in power on April 29th this year when they submitted 26
Arnab,
names
please,
from the Liechtenstein list and their details in front of the Supreme Court. I'm not talking about SIT. You submitted names whether or not are under the probe to the SIT on June 27th. I am saying when the names were given in front of the Supreme Court on April 29th this year, who was in power?
I guess the Congress party was in power, and I
Yeah,
guess
if the Congress party was in power, what was Baba Ramdev doing?
Many judicial
Why were all of you complaining about the Congress party?
After
Today you
how
come on the
many
program and you
judicial
take credit for what the Congress
was
party
the Congress party compelled
You
to
take
come and
credit
share
for what the
those
Congress
names?
party did.
They made every possible effort.
Then why did you make it a political
They did not
issue?
even constitute an SIT for 4 years, Arnab. There was monumental laxity.
Okay, second
and it
point.
was only
Second
for
point.
the
Second
reason
point.
that they are
Second
aware
point. On the first
that
point, I
most
think
of these names which are there, they are all associated
Okay, Sanjay
with
Jha.
the
Okay, Sanjay Jha.
Stop brazenly lying
And
on
I'm
a
not here to
national
defend
channel.
Baba Ramdev or anybody
Let me
else.
tell you,
I'm
Arnab,
here
he's
to defend
once
my
again
party.
being brazen and blatant double standards here. Arnab, I'll give you an example here. Simple example. This is the party
that
that
is
went
right,
to town.
These
and
are
they
not
have
only
a
favorite
gentleman by
words
the
of
name
Sanjay
Mr. Arun
Jha,
Jaitley,
these
who's
are
a
his favorite
legal
acts also.
expert. Now, Mr. Jaitley, Aman Sinha, can you kindly take a deep breath and be silent? Take a Baba Ramdev deep breath. Some meditative piece will be good for you.
But please,
End
kindly,
of day, your
kindly
government
do not,
went to town
kindly do not
saying
make
that
such sweeping
disclose the
allegations
names.
and
I have the
personal
quotes of
allegations.
Nirmala Sitharaman, Ravi Shankar Prasad. And you have a legal luminary in Arun Jaitley who obviously knew what the double taxation treaties was. And
Absolutely
today the
right.
finance minister
And
until
only
he's been
because
forced
of
to declare
legal
by the
luminary
Supreme
like
Court,
Arun Jaitley,
justified
we are
that
able
we
to
cannot,
overcome these impediments
justified
and
that
share
we
those
cannot
names.
disclose the names
Mr.
because
Sanjay
of prosecutable
Jha,
evidence
your
not being
party
there.
only
So who are you
created
trying
legal
to protect?
impediments
Which
when
big
you were in
business are you
power
trying to
in order
protect?
to stop
Which big
getting
politician
any
are you trying to
information,
protect?
any money.
What
And
is
it
your
was only
motive?
because of
What
Mr.
is your
Arun Jaitley
intention?
that
Where
we
are
could
you really
overcome all
coming
those
from?
legal impediments.
Because you won
We
the
are
election, Mr.
renegotiating with
Sinha.
Swiss.
You won the election
Arnab,
on
I have to
corruption.
come in.
You won
Arnab,
the election on
Arnab, I
blaming
have
the
to come in.
Congress party and
The Congress
everybody on
party-
corruption.
the
And
Congress
today for
party
6 months,
surrendered
you have
all
done
the
nothing
rights
at all
of
until
getting
the
any
Supreme Court has
information
making you do
prior
things.
to 2006.
Arnab, they even
And
tried to
today
take
they
credit
are
of the
coming around and
SIT
telling
when it
us
was ordered
that,
by
you
the
know,
Supreme
BJP
Court.
is,
Question number
Aman Sinha,
two.
stop bluffing
What moral
India.
right they have to
Indians
speak?
are smart.
And let me tell
Indians
you,
can see through
if
you.
it was not for Mr. Arun Jaitley and the present NDA government, we wouldn't have these investigations.
Question
wouldn't have
number
progressed.
two.
Oh, really?
Question number
Oh, really?
two.
You have been beaten
And they would
black
have been
and
shed
blue
blood.
Mr.
today.
Professor
You are
Vaidyanathan.
red-faced today in front of
Professor
the entire
Vaidyanathan.
country.
Professor Vaidyanathan. My second question, actually, if I give it to Aman Sinha, he'll be demolished completely if I give him my second question because he will have no answer. I put that question to you and then let's see how he bats that one.
I've been hearing those threats,
The second point,
nothing
you
has
see,
come
why
come
were
out
we
as
told
yet,
the
or not?
names cannot be given? We were told the names cannot be given because the cases have not been looked at in detail and you need to look at the cases in detail. Right? Investigating agencies have to brief and study the cases in detail before they are able to decide what to do with the investigation, right? Now, I was looking through some previous reports
Arnab,
and I saw, no, Aman Sinha, this is very instructive for you. Please,
No, you
it will
have
help
posed
you
the question.
solidify your argument. 1 second. Professor Vaidyanathan, the affidavit that
Please, Arnab, you have been helping Congress party here.
I need
do
to
not
help
need any
nobody.
help. Your right as
I don't
journalist-
intend to help anybody.
No. Your right as journalist to
Arnab,
question is
Arnab.
This is a
That might be your
reprehensible
intent.
charge that every
But in your
political party
arguments, you know,
puts at me
today-
when I ask them uncomfortable
By the way,
questions. I am not in the business
black
of.
money is a national issue. Stop
I am
playing
not in the
politics
business
on it.
of.
Absolutely not.
I am not in the.
Play politics
Now,
on it.
I am not in the business of pleasing egos. Now, Professor Vaidyanathan, the affidavit the government submitted to the Supreme Court yesterday states
Arnab.
that the chairman and the vice chairman of the SIT
Briefly.
have been briefed. Listen, Aman Sinha, the affidavit the government submitted to the Supreme Court yesterday states
No, you are not allowed me
that
to
the
answer,
chairman
Arnab.
and the vice
You have leveled the
chairman
charge
of the
against me, but you are not allowing me to
SIT
answer.
had been briefed of the cases in detail on the 5th of August. If the chairman and vice chairman of the SIT have been briefed in detail, which means the cases have been looked at in detail on the 5th of August, how can you use that same excuse to stop submitting the names to the Supreme Court now? That means you have gone through the cases in detail on the 5th of August. You are totally exposed.
Arnab.
Professor Vaidyanathan?
No, nobody is exposed.
Arnab, I am very happy because
Order
1 minute.
states
Professor
force
Vaidyanathan is an
to
expert.
Normally-
particular matter. And the Supreme Court of India in this very
Arnab.
matter categorically states
Professor
that,
Vaidyanathan is an
unless
expert.
proper investigations are done, the government would have no
Arnab.
right to share, the names of, such persons in public domain. This is what order of the
Professor
Supreme Court says.
Vaidyanathan is an
4th of
expert.
July
Please listen to
2011
him.
order which everybody is relying
Please
upon.
listen to Professor Vaidyanathan and please have some regard for his expertise. Yes.
I am quoting an order of the
Arnav,
Supreme Court in the very same matter.
Oh,
Arnav.
please, Professor Aman
I
Sinha.
thought, Arnav,
4th of
let
July
me-
2011. Make a note of it. And please get it cross-checked.
Thank you. Professor.
Arnav, I thought you treat me like the 12th man, but today some small opportunity has been given. Thank you very much for that. Otherwise,
I love
I'm
that
normally
sarcasm.
observing all these people cacophonious sound, right? Now, there are two issues. One is on June 27th, as per the affidavit, the entire list has been given to SIT. And now SIT is constituted by the government under the instruction of Supreme Court, and Supreme Court is to monitor the functioning of SIT. Let me repeat it. Supreme Court is to monitor the functioning of SIT. And on the August 5th, there has been an extensive discussion with the chairman and the vice chairman of the SIT by the ministry on all these cases. Now, I am really puzzled. Where does this issue of revealing the names comes at all to the court? Because SIT is under the SC, under the Supreme Court. No, let me complete. I am really puzzled. There is some communication gap or something is happening. But the more important issue, I think, which we are not adequately focusing, two issues. One issue is the ministry asking for the forthcoming American treaty with India, US treaty, wherein there are some stringent clauses, and for that they wanted the original judgment of the 2011 to be modified in order to go along with the US treaty. It is not required that US treaty should be similar to 43 countries with which they have entered. By December we are supposed to enter into that. Anyhow, that is the primary purpose of this entire exercise, which I think Supreme Court in its judgment has felt in its thing that it is not required. We are not going to relax our 2011 judgment. The moot and most important question is 100+ people have been given amnesty by the UPA government of the HSBC list. It is not very clear to me whether those 100 are part of this list or not. And some of them have been hurriedly given in the last 15 days before May 16th. This question nobody is asking. And the finance minister that time has clearly told he has never looked at the list. Then who was empowered by whom to give amnesty? Amnesty is something very, very serious. Not one or two. 100+ have been given.
Why?
And I want to know who were given in the month of April and May. This question, I think, is the most important question for which answer should come from the present NDA or the past UPA.
Yeah, somebody has to tell us. No.
UPA doesn't have any
Good
type
point.
of responsibility or anything to talk about it. In 2009, Pratibha Patil, in the joint session starting, I will read it if you want, clearly told, 2009, she told both the parliament session that our government will take full endeavor to bring back the entire black money in a few months. It's not by the party leader or anybody. President of the Republic promised and nothing happened. The maximum UPA did was to prevent the names being given and entered into DTAA with Germany, which is not required. It is purely a stolen data. I think in the last program I told you.
You are right.
The German Foreign Intelligence Agency stole from Liechtenstein, and then German finance minister was offering it free. And when it was offered free, India did not go. And I got very worried because when something is offered free, Indians are not in the queue. I always get worried. And that is the reason I wrote to a lot of ministers and MPs, and Advani is the one who took up the matter very seriously. So let's forget about UPA's role. The UPA role, only role, which you also should take care and ask the relevant question, who are those 100 who were given amnesty?
It's a good point. Sanjay Cha raises
under
this and
what provision?
I don't know. I don't know. Frankly, do you know?
Under what provision?
Do you know? No, I don't know. All I know is
Arnav.
that the UPA, 1 minute, all I know is that the UPA government submitted the names of all those people against whom no action was being contemplated. But Professor Vaidyanathan, they gave those names to to the Supreme Court.
That is, but not these 100 names for which they have given amnesty.
That's right, Arnab. You're absolutely
Secretly.
right. And Mr. Vaidyanathan should know the reason why the government had to take a legal due diligence was because the names of HSBC Geneva were stolen names, and stolen names were submitted to the French government. You cannot
No,
just
I am
start
not
taking
talking-
action
No, no.
in this
Speaking
country
Arnab,
to
I am not
ascertain
able to understand.
authenticity and find out its
I am not
official.
talking about
So I
Geneva,
don't
I am
want
not
to.
talking- I am
That's a
talking-
red herring,
Yes,
Mr.
that's good.
Vaidyanathan.
Yeah, country
I think the
called
bigger
National
issue that you
doesn't
need to
reveal names,
realize
it's
today
fine.
is that
BJP
why did
reveals
Mr.
names.
Arun
Something may not
You say
have
that
heard.
it
why
is a
did
charge
Mr.
against the
Arun
government.
Jaitley release 3 names? Is the BJP government making an assumption that only 3
Because
names are due to
investigations
be
were
acted
complete.
upon? Because
Complete
if the
and
Supreme
wrongdoing
Court
was
has
found.
asked for all the names,
And therefore those
it
names
tells
were
you
released.
that the fish needs, that the net has to be a lot larger to catch the big fish.
Really? And what were you fishing with?
They have
And what were you fishing
Well,
for?
Mr. Sanjay Jha,
And what kind of fishermen
He's
were you?
exposing himself
Now,
and
Mr.
the
Aman
Congress
Sinha, hear
party.
me before I go into the break. Don't try and even attempt to reduce this discussion to technical garble. Look deep within today, Mr. Sinha, deep within.
And
And
please allow
ask
me to
yourself
respond
whether
also.
this is a missed opportunity.
Yes.
Because you have been forced to reveal the names to the Supreme Court after its criticism, after getting a tongue lashing from them, not something you did out of your volition. It is a reactive measure what you have done, and the Supreme Court has stolen your thunder. Think about that. The debate continues on the other side. Let's see what Aman Sinha has to say.
no, Arnab.
Sanjay Jha, who are the 100 names who the Congress government gave amnesty to?
I have absolutely no idea on what
Is it true
names
they were
that
given
he's
amnesty?
alleging
Is there
have been
anything like
given
that?
an
Is this
amnesty. All we know...
Is this true? Were people
all-
given amnesty?
No, 1 minute.
No,
All
were
I can
people
tell
given
you is that
amnesty? Because
even-
what happened is that you
even
refused to
in
set
the
up an
names-
SIT. On top of it, did you give 100 people amnesty? Can the people of India know why? Who are these privileged people you
Well,
gave
let me
amnesty
tell you,
to?
Arnab, firstly, let me respond to your...
No,
let me
was
respond to
amnesty
your
given?
SIT charge.
No, I'm
The
not
SIT
giving.
issue
No,
had
Professor
nothing to
Vaidyanathan
do-
shared some.
It was
Professor
a question
Vaidyanathan.
of judicial overreach.
No,
That
don't
was an
change the
issue of
subject. Were
judicial
100
overreach.
people
It had
given
nothing else to
amnesty?
do with the delay
Were
in
100
SIT.
people given amnesty?
I'm saying that even in the list of 800...
Yes or no, were 100
income
people
tax
given
notices
amnesty?
were sent finally to people like Mr.
Did you
Barma
give
in
amnesty to 100
2011.
people?
I'm not aware of any such...
I'm not
amnesty
aware.
given.
Professor Vaidyanathan?
I am not aware of any such amnesty.
Professor
being given.
Vaidyanathan, what is your source?
If he has any evidence, he can kindly submit it to the NDA government to take action to cancel that amnesty. If he has
Professor
any evidence
Vaidyanathan,
to
what
that-
is your
to that
source?
amount. I mean, I have no idea what his allegations are all
both,
about.
I have given in my Twitter also, both Bloomberg and Reuters has reported about it. And the finance ministry at that point of time, the secretaries and various other people were in hush-hush tones. And they even refused to respond to many of the questions put by these international agencies.
So, Mr. Vaidyanathan, kindly take the issue and go to Mr. Jaitley, ask him to cancel the amnesty, but you can't make wide
No, did you give amnesty?
Is he telling,
without
is Sanjay
providing
Jha,
documentary
Sanjay
evidence
Jha
of the
need not
amnesty
advise
being
me.
given by the finance
I am very
ministry.
amazed.
I am not aware of it. But
Arnab
the bigger
Goswami,
issue...
kindly tell
But
the
the bigger
gentleman
issue, I'll tell you,
not to
Arnab,
advise other
I'll
people.
tell you the reason why the BJP is not disclosing
Arnab,
names.
I will tell you one
because
thing.
one of the
Will you
sources
give me
of
1
black
minute,
money
Arnab?
is
No, Mr.
mining
Sanjay
the
Jha,
state where Mr. Vaidyanathan is
if he
living.
is aware of
and
this,
we'll all
he
know
should be
when the
revealing those
BJP was
names,
in
or
Karnataka,
he should ask
how
his
much
then
of
finance
mining
minister.
scam happened.
He should
Professor
ask his then
Vaidyanathan
finance
is
minister.
saying that
Why should
before
the
the
BJP
Why should they
elections,
disclose
which is
this
the why
information
they are
to
not
the government?
Professor Vaidyanathan is saying that according to his information, several people were given amnesty by the UPA government. Now, I have a report.
Correct.
I have a report. It's not just, it's a 2012 July report, which says that India has offered amnesty to more than 100 wealthy citizens who evaded taxes by hiding funds in accounts at HSBC Holdings Private Limited Swiss unit. The Income Tax Agreement Department has agreed not to start criminal proceedings or levy a penalty if the Indians repatriate the money from Geneva and pay the taxes, the official said, asking not to be identified because the information is confidential. Do you realize what a treachery this is?
Very
you see,
correct.
you are giving an opportunity,
Correct.
Sanjay Jha. Is this happened? The amnesty,
Arnab.
somebody cheats the country and you give them a
Arnab.
way of getting away.
Arnab, this is
No,
not
one
a
second.
report.
This is serious.
This is not
serious.
a report that we can
Absolutely.
discuss
I mean,
because the finance
Arnab,
minister never
people must
substantiated
Arnab,
that.
actually,
Point number two. Point number
Amnesty.
two.
People
As
have
far
the right
as
to
the
know that.
LGT Bank was concerned, let me tell you, penalties were imposed on the 16 names that were submitted, 26 names, 16 people were being investigated, penalties
We are
were
talking about
imposed.
the 100 names.
Even in the HSC,
We are talking about the 100 names.
Mr. Burman got a notice in 2011.
We are talking about 100 names.
Let me tell you, if anybody's been given an amnesty, the finance ministry cannot do it without having a substantive reason.
So why
to do
are you
so.
not coming
if
out?
Anybody believes it was wrong, they are free to contest it.
So
let me tell you, I cannot come out here on your questioning. If any of these reports that Mr. Vaidyanathan alleges is true, let Mr. Jaitley challenge it. For 5 months, this government has not said a word on that amnesty. So obviously, this government does not feel there was anything wrong if that amnesty statement is true. Because for 5 months, you have seen no real statement
I would
by
request
Mr.
you to
Modi's
tell that
government.
gentleman, Sanjay Jha,
And by the
not
way,
to
Mr.
advise
Aman
anyone.
Sinha,
Yes.
please
not in a
answer,
position
where are
to
those
advise
50,000 accounts that Baba Ramdev promised to get? Where are the 50,000 accounts of Mr.
Why should
Baba
I
Ramdev's
answer? You
allegations
go to Baba
which you
Ramdev.
milked
You travel
politically
all
to
the
win an
way to-
election? Where is those 50,000 accounts?
Please allow me
But
to
why are
respond.
you asking me that
Arnab.
question?
No, where is the 1 rupee
heard
of
enough of,
the
you know,
entire black money
ridiculous.
that you are going to get to India in 100
No,
days?
why?
Don't try and divert the
Who are
topic,
these
Mr.
people?
Vaidyanathan. The bigger
And
issue remains
Sanjay
unanswered.
Jha, 1 minute. I want to ask you. One
The
second.
Congress party showed monumental laxity in dealing with this issue of black money. If not for BJP, Mr. L.K. Advani who raised this issue, this would have never come to light.
We
This was
signed the
never on the
UN
government's
Convention
agenda.
against
Only
corruption,
for the
Mr.
reason,
Sinha.
only
We
for the
amended the
reason
Prevention
that
of Money
number of
Laundering Act.
congressmen
Get to know
and
your
their
facts.
cronies
Get
had
to know your
hoarded
facts.
crores and crores
We
of
released
rupees
names to the
in
Supreme
these
Court and the
Swiss
LGT
banks.
Bank of
And
Germany.
therefore,
We took action even
one
on the
second.
HSBC
Specifically
Geneva
signed
accounts.
a
What did
double
you
taxation
do?
avoidance
And what have you
treaty.
done for 5 months?
And
You hoodwinked the
voluntarily
people of
giving
India.
up, surrendering
You won an election,
all the rights
but you
of
did
India
nothing. And
to
that is the
source
bare
any
truth that you can't
information
dodge today.
prior to 2006.
The BJP government
in fact,
of Mr.
2012.
Modi has been beaten black and blue by
Well,
the Supreme Court order.
Well, you know, Mr.
stand
Sanjay
exposed
Jha,
today before
since
the
he has
people of
nothing to
India.
speak on
You are
substance,
red-faced
he is
today.
just trying to
And
interrupt
let me tell you,
But the fact of the
you
matter
can't dodge
is
the issue
that
anymore.
Mr. Sanjay Jha
I think
and
you are
his
trying to
party
prevent the
surrendered
exposure
all
of certain
rights
names
of
who have
our
close
sovereign
proximity
country
to the Prime
secure
Minister,
any
who have close
information
proximity to your
prior to
party,
2012
who may be probably
under a
funding
double
you.
taxation
And that is the
avoidance
reason why
treaty
you are wary.
signed with the
That's the
Swiss.
reason why you are apprehensive. That's the reason why you're trying to dodge. Mr.
Sanjay
Sinha.
Jha.
Keep on talking.
Yes,
Sanjay
yes.
Jha.
That is the reason
Sanjay
why
Jha.
this
Be out
issue.
before the Supreme
Sanjay
Court.
Jha, 1 minute. The fact
That
is,
is the reason why you kept
the
sleeping
fact
over it.
is this.
That is the reason
1
why
minute.
feminist
The fact
equality
is
and all
this.
these-
I have not got an answer. What I want to know is, how many of the 100 names who you gave amnesty to were politicians? How many of the 100 names you gave amnesty to were corporates? Were there any Congress politicians in that list? Were there relatives of Congress politicians in that list?
Arnab, I'm glad you asked me the question. I'm glad you asked me the question because all those names, amnesty given or not given, are account holders. Their names will have to be disclosed before the Supreme Court, and nobody at all will escape a public scrutiny.
You
let's
didn't
not even
reveal the
worry
names,
about
come on,
the
you know.
red herring that Mr. Vaidyanathan has tossed in, because the truth is all the names will be there before the Supreme Court.
Now,
and a question to Mr. Sinha: what has his government done for the past 6 months if they found there was anything suspicious about any account handled by the UPA government? I don't think he has any answers, Arnab. He hasn't even read the affidavit. He's
Yes.
only trying to dodge it by the usual rhetoric.
Yes,
that the
Mr.
BJP
Sinha,
does.
quickly, 5 minutes
Some
left.
answers only when you stop speaking. If you keep interrupting, nothing will come out.
No, I have stopped speaking. Be my guest. Go on.
The first day when this government took oath, the first decision of the cabinet was to constitute an SIT. In contrast, this Congress government did not even
Wrong.
constitute an
It was
SIT
on the
for 4
orders
years.
of the Supreme Court.
The moment the
Arnab,
finance
there they
minister
go
assumed
lying
office,
again.
the
Making a
moment
virtue
finance
of
minister-
necessity.
Do not
Arnab,
interrupt
making
now.
a virtue
Do
of
not
necessity.
interrupt.
Aman Sinha,
Otherwise,
how
I
can
will
you
not allow you to
brazenly lie?
speak.
No, I will interrupt you because you're
Arnab,
lying.
will
to
you
the
please
people
let
of
him
India.
continue?
And we will not allow you to lie to the people of India.
No,
Initiate
Mr. Jha, will you let him continue,
Arnab,
please?
It was a Supreme
No,
Court
no, you
order.
just keep interrupting.
How can the BJP take
You have,
credit
you know,
for it?
you are
It's
totally
ridiculous.
bankrupt.
Mr. Jha, 1 minute.
Totally devoid of
Please
any
stop.
logic and substance,
absurd.
and you
It's
keep
a lie.
interrupting when others are
It's a
speaking.
lie with a capital L.
I did not interrupt, and you are keeping,
I will
you know,
interrupt
you are,
you lied.
you have nothing
Now
to
you
say,
are
and you are
lying.
just interrupting.
2 minutes to go, let him speak.
For the people of India.
Oh yes,
Like-
thank you.
like
It
your
shows.
Prime Minister,
It
like
shows,
Baba
you know,
Ramdev.
the kind
All
of,
you lied to the
you know,
people
the
of
kind of breeding our Congress spokespersons have today. Yeah, yes. Your conduct
Well,
is
let
very
me
well
tell you,
reflected
please
before
don't-
the whole
please
country.
don't indulge
Now the
in
problem is,
deep
Arnab,
personalized
that
comments.
since Congress
I will not
party
comment on your
and their
tweet
cronies
because
had
you are
hoards and
doing
hoards
that
of
at the
money in Swiss banks, they surrendered all rights of getting any information
allegation.
from Swiss prior to
Again an
2012.
allegation.
They signed a
Again an
treaty.
allegation.
1
with
minute to
Switzerland
go.
in
Kept abusing
2012,
our leaders.
whereby they surrendered
Tomorrow
all the
you
rights.
stand exposed.
And the moment this government came in, it has started investigation in all these cases, and the CBDT, when it filed a report to SIT, they have given update of all these cases where investigations have progressed. And what is the state of investigation?
Okay, 1 second, last question.
Thereafter, wherever
Yes, Atul Anjan,
has reached the
Atul
appropriate
Anjan.
stage,
Economic offenders.
the names
No,
have
I
been
just
Atul
want to tell
Anjan.
you one thing. Yes, I just want to tell this BJP and Congress people are making allegations against each other. The question is this: why amnesty was given by the Congress party and why
And to whom?
BJP kept mum for 5 months? And now the question is this: because the corporate houses, the big bureaucrats, the big Congress leaders were there, and today also in BJP, the BJP wants to shield corporate houses and bureaucrats, so they are not revealing the names. Now the Supreme Court has given order,
rejected.
and I think
Totally
why the
rejected.
Congress and BJP
In fact,
people
on the
are
contrary,
fighting. Now the matter
all the
is with
names
the
have been
Supreme Court.
revealed.
SIT
And
is
in
working
fact,
under
there
the
are-
Supreme Court direction. All the names
We
must
want the
know,
names to be
must
exposed.
come out.
Welcome.
And I said in your
Yes.
program,
Yes.
the
All the
names
names
must
have
be
been
leaked.
revealed.
The nation
What is
must
the
know
controversy that
if
you are trying
somebody's
to
image
create?
is tarnished.
No,
We
please,
should
you
not
are not
worry.
even understand.
They have
You
betrayed
are not
the
able to
nation. So
understand
no
the charge
problem.
that you are
If somebody's
making.
name is
Nobody will
Well, let us-
and
let us
their
remember
image is
now.
tarnished.
All names have been
I just
revealed.
Let
want
us
to tell
remember
to the
now-
business houses. I
Let
just
us-
want to
let
tell
us remember
to the-
now,
to the-
ladies and gentlemen,
to the corporate
that if
houses,
the names
I want
come
to
out-
tell the chambers not to worry and try to shield the
If the names come out-
black money holders, corporate houses.
If the names come out, the Congress won't get the credit, the BJP won't get the credit, only the Supreme Court will get the credit. We have a big debate coming up at 9 p.m. Thank you for now.
We
Thank
are
you.
not
See you in a
game
few
of
minutes.
taking credit.